All right, everyone, strap in, because today we are going deep, deep, deep into the world of Twin Challenge.
Ooh, Twin Challenge.
You know that show, 100 sets of twins, all competing
Oh, yeah.
for $250,000.
Wow.
Crazy competition, elimination rounds, sibling rivalry.
Right?
We're going to get into all of it.
You know, I am fascinated by this show because it's not just about the competition itself.
Right.
It really provides a fascinating look at teamwork and strategy
Absolutely.
and how even the strongest bonds, can be tested under intense pressure like that.
And you've got those wild challenges that they throw at them, right?
Sure.
Like, who comes up with this stuff?
Right.
And then $250,000 on the line.
Huge incentive.
And then you're competing against other twins, too.
Yeah, other twin pairs.
So it's like this extra layer of,
Yeah.
Who do you trust?
Right.
And, oh, my gosh, just thinking about it makes my head spin.
Well, and one challenge that really stood out to me was that color sequence memorization task where they had to remember, this long string of colors.
Oh, gosh.
And some of the twins were in perfect sync.
Yeah.
They just boom, got it.
Yeah, they knew what the other one was thinking.
But then others, it was a total disaster.
Total communication breakdown.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this actually reflects research on how high-stress environments
Oh, really?
affect communication, even with that inherent twin connection.
Right, because you would think.
You would think they would just get each other.
Yeah, like they have that twin telepathy.
Right. But even then, under pressure, clear communication is absolutely essential.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden the stakes are so high that every word, every glance.
Every little gesture.
Yeah, means so much more.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you've got the strategic element of the game.
Ooh, right.
Because they're not just, competing in these challenges.
Yeah.
They have to vote other teams off.
Right.
So it becomes this whole social chess match
Ooh, that's a really good way to put it.
where you're constantly having to weigh your loyalties to other twin pairs
Right. Do you stay loyal or do you...
against your own ambition.
Yeah.
Do you want to get ahead, even if it means...
backstabbing your fellow twins?
Yeah, and you could see that pressure really impacted some of the decisions that the twins made.
Oh, totally.
Some of their choices were, let's just say, questionable.
Yeah, it was like watching stress just melt their brains in real time.
It really is a perfect example of how stress can just hijack our rational thinking.
Yeah.
And, studies have shown that when we're under pressure, we tend to rely on these mental shortcuts
Oh, interesting.
and biases that we have, which can lead to, not the best choices.
Yeah, those snap judgments that you're like,
Yeah.
oh, afterwards.
Oh, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Exactly. And have you ever found yourself in a situation like that where you had to make a decision under pressure?
Oh, all the time.
And looking back, maybe you didn't make the best choice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about like, if you're in a meeting at work or something.
Oh, yeah.
And your boss puts you on the spot.
Or you're giving a presentation.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And you just like blurt something out.
And you're like, oh, I wish I'd phrased that differently.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens to the best of us.
And, speaking of pressure, we've got to talk about the twin bond itself.
Oh, yeah.
Because this show really put those relationships through the ringer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we saw arguments, we saw resentment,
Tears.
hurt
Yeah.
feelings.
And sometimes I honestly wondered, are these two even going to talk to each other?
Right. Are they going to be able to repair this?
Comes the cameras stop rolling
Ah,
because it got really, really intense. And it makes you wonder, right?
it does.
How much would you sacrifice
Right.
for a chance at that kind of money?
$250,000.
Yeah. Could you resist that temptation?
To bend the rules.
Yeah, to maybe throw your twin under the bus a little bit.
Right. Even if it meant, creating some friction
Yeah.
in your relationship.
It's a tough question, right?
It is.
What would you do? Yeah.
And of course, we can't forget about the giant elephant in the room.
Oh, the money.
That $250,000 prize.
Yeah, talk about a powerful motivator.
Oh my gosh, that is a life-changing amount of money.
It is, and it clearly drove some of the twins to make choices that they probably wouldn't have made otherwise.
Oh, absolutely.
And this actually ties back to some classic psychological principles,
Oh, like what?
like expectancy theory. Have you heard of that?
I don't think so.
So basically it says that the higher the perceived value of the reward,
Okay.
the more motivated we are to achieve it,
That makes sense.
even if it means taking risks or,
Bending the rules a little bit.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that big prize was a huge driving force in the competition.
Totally. And as the weeks went on, it really became a case of survival of the fittest.
Twin edition.
Twin edition, right?
Yeah.
Only the most adaptable.
Rather, twin edition.
Twin edition. Yeah, those twin pairs they could really work together.
Communicate effectively.
Yeah.
Manage their stress. They were the ones who thrived.
They had to be like chameleons, right?
Yes, adapting to every new challenge, every new twist.
Yeah.
And, it's fascinating to see how even in this kind of manufactured competition environment,
Right.
these core principles of, adaptation, they still play out.
Yeah, it's like human nature in a nutshell.
It is.
And then there was that grand finale.
Oh, my God.
Blindfolded bowling.
Blindfolded bowling. Can you imagine?
Talk about intense.
That pressure.
Yeah, and in the end, the winning twins,
They had a really tough decision to make.
they did, because taking home the prize.
Meant potentially jeopardizing some of the relationships that they had built
Yeah.
with other teams on the show.
It was really heartbreaking.
It was. And, it's a perfect illustration of the idea that success often comes with trade-offs.
Yeah.
It forces us to really examine our values and the potential consequences
Boy, that's good.
of our choices.
Right? Like, is it worth winning
Yeah.
if it means hurting other people?
Right?
Wow. Big questions.
So this wasn't just your average reality show, was it? No, it was like a social experiment
Yeah.
playing out on our screens.
It gave us this really captivating look at teamwork and strategy and resilience.
And the power of those sibling bonds.
Yeah. Amplified by the allure of that life-changing prize.
Right. And it really gets you thinking, how would you handle that kind of pressure,
Yeah.
the temptation of all that money,
Yeah. Could you stay true to yourself
to your values?
and to the people you care about?
Yeah, it's definitely something to ponder.
Food for thought.
It is.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but
This is a good one.
oh, I know. I'm still reeling from it.
So many twists and turns.
I know. And those twins.
What a journey.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
But so fascinating.
So fascinating.
Eh.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.